Hey everybody. So here's another little update for R2 and how he's coming along so far. Um, so I finally got the bearing for his head in. Um, it's just a regular everyday bearing. So what I had to do here is each one of these little plugs, or each one of these little holes here, had one of these little plugs in it. So what I had to do is I took these plugs out, and you had to drill through each of the spots in order to anchor down the bearing to the body that allowed this section on the inside to be free. So I had to also drill through these when you take the plugs out in order to get the anchors for R2's head on the dome to sit in place on. Put a little bit of a spacer in, so I just put a little nut in the washer just to hold that in place, and then screwed that to the frame itself so it's not gonna go anywhere. And then R2's head is going to be able to rotate freely on here. So if you look at my R2's head on the dome, his periscope, the way I have the motor situated on the underside of the dome, see the way it sticks down just a little bit? Well, I thought I had clearance for the legs, which is kind of weird because it clears just on this side, but over on this side it wants to bump into it. So what I didn't want to have to do is, now I'm going to have to trim this off just a little bit just to make that motor clear. So it's not that big of a deal, but I really wanted to keep these stoppers in. So I may have to figure out another way just to make a stopper in there. Probably chop this down a little bit and then just bend a tab over just to make a new stopper for the sliders for his legs. Other than that, you can see in here I've actually have the batteries installed now, and it works out perfectly because this battery with its width actually clears the side rail of this foot going into his body. So I have one on this side here, and I also have one on this side here, to which I am going to tie together in series. I don't know if you can see it in there very well, but I have little anchor tabs in there just to keep the battery all secured in place. That way there's absolutely next to no movement when I finally have his legs motorized and boogieing around. So a little bit of update on my electronics. And here, this is all for ground. That way I can distribute the ground around all into one little simple block. This is my just power readout, just so I know how much amperage is coming from my batteries, so I can keep a tab on that in case it needs to get charged. It's a power distribution block. This one here, just so I can have my different amperages in, heading off to different locations. One goes up to the dome, one goes up to the power supply to the Bluetooth here, to which I can connect my Bluetooth on my phone, play sounds or whatever else I want to do with it. All these different connectors here, they go to different spots. One goes up here to my to the amp for all the speakers. and then one goes over to my data port. So everything's starting to slowly come together. You know, I've got a little bit of the ridge detail here routed out. I use my Dremel for that, just to put the little grooves on. A bit more sanding, a little bit more filling, just to make that feel a little bit more smooth. You know, a couple more details to put on here. Dome's coming together pretty good. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm still working on the color projectors, but other than that, the dome is pretty much complete. Got my wiring harness ready to go on the bottom of the dome, which comes in here. I'll just have to just make a little anchor for when the wires come down, because it's got the bearing here in the middle. But other than that, everything seems pretty good. I'll just throw his dome on here so that you can see that it's making contact over there. And we'll go from, I'll just put his head on. We'll just be a second. Okay, so I put his dome on, and you can see right in there, that is the slider for his center leg. You can see the way the motor's coming around there. So just ever so slightly, it bumps that one right in there. So I gotta trim that out. Probably take like ½ an inch off the top, just so that it just clears. I might even be able to just leave in half of that stopper that's in there, not even have to worry about anything. But if you look back there, it clears that one. So I'll probably just take a slight trim off that one too, just in case something happens and that one wire off the motor there wants to catch, and I don't want it to inadvertently catch on there. So I'll put get those two things together, get that fixed up, that trimmed off, and his head will do a complete 360 rotation. So far, that is everything for R2 so far. He's coming along pretty good. I'm quite satisfied with the tools that I have provided for myself. That it's going good. Well, I'll update everybody a little bit later, and you guys, happy building.